Hello, my name is Mikey Parsons and I'm a sound designer and composer from the UK. For this sound design and implementation showreel, I focused on the ending scene of the Wwise adventure game. The Wwise adventure game is an open source action adventure RPG developed by Audiokinetic to serve as a platform for experimentation and learning. The ending scene of the Wwise adventure game is called The Core. It's set inside a magical volcano with purple flowing lava. A glowing crystal hides behind a rippling magical shield, and your hero must fight off the evil head and spit plant enemies, whilst casting a magic spell with the help of a wizard to break through the magical shield and destroy the crystal. I started my sound redesign by playing the game and using Wwise's profiler and capture log to record data from the game, making a list of all the event calls in this scene. I started with ambience. This felt most important, the glue that holds all the sounds in the scene together. To create the feel of being inside a volcano with shifting lava, I recorded boiling water. I slowed the recording down and lowered the pitch to make the recording feel larger. In Wwise, I used crossfades in order to make the ambience loop seamlessly. I then needed to use reverb so that these sounds would echo in the space, giving the impression of being inside a large cavern. This still felt a little thin on the ground, so to beef it up a little, I used the Alchemy synth in Logic to produce some spooky, bassy rumbles. So in Wwise, I created a looping sequence container with a random trigger rate of between 15 and 30 seconds, meaning that the bassy rumbles didn't occur too often. The final touch for the ambience of the core was to give a thrumming, magical sense of power to the shield. I made 2 layers in the Alchemy synth, one using granular synthesis techniques on a recording of me punching a cushion, and the other was made by playing around with additive synthesis and modulating a sawtooth wave. Next, I focused on the enemies in the scene. There are 2. The evil heads, which are stone heads that move around biting you and exploding into dust when killed, and the evil spit plants that fire seeds at you like bullets. I was keen to bring elements of nature into these enemy sounds, using stones for the evil heads and plants and leaves for the spit plants to help make them feel real and dangerous. I started by recording video of these enemies to help me tailor my sounds to their animations. I used a combination of Foley and voice acting to bring these enemies to life. The evil heads also have an RTPC, a real-time parameter control that I could make use of to further vary the sounds. The RTPC in question, evil head enemy movement speed, meant that I could raise the pitch and volume of my sounds in direct relation to how fast the evil heads are moving. For the hero, the sounds that you most frequently hear are footsteps, sword swings, and impact sounds when the player is hurt. Because these sounds are frequent in occurrence, it was important to make them authentic and not too repetitive. I recorded a voice actor performing dialogue to the pain of being hurt by these enemies. The climax of the Wwise adventure game involves charging up a magic spell and shooting a powerful beam at the shield protecting the crystal. For the magic element of the charge, I created another patch using the Alchemy synth. The game has another RTPC that can be used here, called Magic Intensity, that increases as the spell is charged. When the spell crashes into the shield, there are 2 stages to the sound. First, a crystalline ringing that I made with alchemy, based on a pitched-up piano sound, and the second is an explosion. I also used the source material from the Evil Head Flint recordings, put them into a sampler and looped them to give the impression of lots of boulders falling, which is what would happen if a sound that loud occurred in a cave. Once I had all my sounds in the game, it was time to mix. I created a Soundcaster session in Wwise to accurately recreate and monitor the levels of noise in the cave scene. It took a long time to find a good balance where all the sounds were audible and complementary to each other, as well as finding space for the more dramatic sounds to stand out. Here is the final scene. Thank you for watching.